A hot summer day in my Toyota Land Sauna with a broken AC. It is roasting. I'm finally meeting the person that played an important role in making my Landcruiser possible 3 years ago.
Oh, thank you. How you doing?
The refrigerant was low. Got a sunburn with pressure testing and recharging. So I reckon we deserve a ride in the old 60. Anyways, let's get to my AC work first.
There's 4 components to every AC system.
All right, there we go. Ice cap saving me again. It is roasting 30 degrees or so. Put my mask off because it's literally all sweating inside my face and inside my body. We are getting that AC fixed. But what you don't do is you don't wait till a 30-degree day to fix your AC. You fix your AC when it was cool. Talk about preventative. Oh man. Okay. Oh. Okay, so if you watched my short film City Girl, you know I came from the corporate business world and used to be in full suits and whatnot. And I am now in a coverall. So take a wild guess what I'm doing right now. Go ahead. The thing is, in hot weather like this, heat you up really good. So we are actually going to get this AC fixed from a friend that's doing this just as a favor. And I actually wanted to show his rigs to you guys for a long time, but time never really aligned, and actually, if not him, this cruiser might not be possible. So let's catch the road and I'll tell you guys a little more after. All right, we are here. Look at that. I wish we got a shot like this when he still had an 80. There we go.
Oh, thank you. How you doing?
Good. So that's Eric. I will tell you guys a little bit more about how I know about him from the very, very beginning. This dates back, guys. So just wait. When I just got back, there were other issues more critical than this. So at least we got the cruiser running again. Weather cooled down a bit, so I didn't put AC recharge on the top of my mind. When 30 degree comes again, you know it's too late. Okay, cool. So basically, sort of what happened was in end of 2019, before I shipped the car over, the AC wasn't working. They changed the whole condenser, so technically the whole system should be fresh, and it shouldn't have a problem this early if nothing was leaking. That's what I thought. Yeah. Because they tried, the refrigerant was low. It's only 2 years.
Okay. So yeah, the first thing we'll do is just hook up to it, and then we'll see what kind of pressures we get, if there's anything still left in there. If there is refrigerant still in there, then we can even do like a leak detection, or we can pressure test it further and see what's going on with that. So yeah, I'll get hooked up first. So I got like a high side and a low side fitting. Just gotta go ahead, and that's the high side right here, and the low side's over there. They're pretty hard to screw up because they're different size for each fitting. There you go. So generally, like the pipe that's larger in diameter is the low side. Wow. Yeah, there's like basically nothing in there. So it is all leaked out. It barely moved above 0. Oh. So
normally, if it's a functioning one, what should it go to?
Standing pressure, so when it's just sitting, could be well over 100 psi. So. Okay. Well, I gotta go get some nitrogen, so I'll be right back.
So while he's getting that, I'll tell you guys how I met him. This dates back to Hitomi age, when I was sort of more so in the car scene. Back then, Vancouver had a lot of car shows, and there was one time Liberty Walk team came. Most active members in the car scene in Vancouver, we all went to have this dinner at a hop-up place, and then I parked my Hitomi right up front, and then he had his 80 at a time and parked right in front of me. When we all came out, I think it was at the end of the dinner, we just thought, it would be funny to take a photo of my car literally under his rear trunk, as if we went into a crash, and there was a police car driving right across and just stopped, slowed down, and looked at us. and then drove away. So that's basically where my idea of Landcruiser came from. At that time, I literally did not know what that even is. I literally need to go back and find that picture and then find who this person is because I sort of forgot about it. I'm sorry. But, and when I went to Australia, I was going through car sales, running through all those ads about Landcruiser, and I didn't know what to look for. I was sending links back and forth to him asking if this is okay, and he was telling me, oh, might be too old and might be okay, and price is fine. And basically that's how I ended up with this one, so it dates back. But the funny thing is, I actually have never met him after that dinner.
Yep. That was like, what, 6 years ago?
Wow, at least internet friends. That's
Yeah.
how we call it.
So I'm just gonna charge this up, and then basically you just use soap and bubbles, like if you're checking a tire for leaks. So
Right.
leave it. So 150 and 200, and then just see if that starts to drop while we're working on it. If it's like really, really tiny, we may not find a leak. So.
Oh. So how long would it be normal to have like a refresh of AC, just like if nothing was leaking and annual checkup?
Yeah, like it would never need a checkup. It should just be good, but
don't people's AC die? Is that all because of leak?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, generally it's almost always because of a leak. So, because like AC systems in your car only use like an O-ring to seal stuff, so those O-rings get dry and they leak and stuff, so it's not nearly as sealed up as like a commercial or residential application.
Awesome.
So yeah, you basically just start at any of the fittings and just see if they start bubbling and then come back to them. This isn't the best thing to use for leak detection. I can also... Yeah. There's all sorts of little spots where it could be basically right off the compressor. Could be leaking from the compressor like pulley seal. That one sucks because then you have to replace the compressor. If it's anything like this, like there's just a little tiny O-ring in there, you can just pull that 10 mil bolt off and change that O-ring really easily. The hard thing right now too is the pressures haven't equalized. Like usually you would see the high side drop and the low side come up to meet it and they'll just settle, but it's taking a really long time.
What does that mean?
I'm not really sure. Sometimes it can be like, so like there's 4 components to every AC system. There's the compressor, the evaporator, the condenser, and then there's like a metering device that creates a pressure drop. And that's what causes it to go from like hot, really high pressure refrigerant down to low pressure, really cold refrigerant. And in the evaporator, that's why like you get the cold air inside. And so the metering device can sometimes plug, it can fail. So yeah, it's hard to say. So, and sometimes the design of the metering device prevents it from equalizing really quickly. So, but
Okay.
I could just equalize it right now by just basically shutting off the nitrogen, which should have already. You can see it's like it started to come up a little bit here and started to drop here. So if I just open both sides to each other, so now it's equalized.
So it's been like a bit of a minute. What are we waiting for here?
To see if we can see anything, any leaks, any bubbles, if the pressure drops. But yeah, it could just be a really, really small leak, or it could be a leak that only happens when it's running.
Oh.
So like if it only leaks while it's running, it could be something to do with like the compressor.
Should I run?
No, not right now, because it's just running with nitrogen, so I would just leave it. But
This is when all the tradies go for a smoke.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that is taking a lot of time, so we gotta wait till probably another half an hour, so
Yeah.
might as well take the time to check out this. I should have came when the red 80 was still here, and we'll have the whole line, but actually, maybe tell me what happened with
Which one?
the one that
The one that rolled?
flopped.
That was fun. Basically what happened was I was on the Washington backcountry discovery route with a bunch of friends of mine. We'd done a few days of the trail and it's absolutely wonderful. Definitely recommend it to anyone. Like, you know, you reach like 6,000, 6,500 feet. We must have been about 20 miles outside of town and we were on a little cliff edge road kind of coming back down, and I was on the cliff side because I'm right-hand drive. And so I was hugging the left side of the trail, just an innocent trail. I was maybe going 10 kilometers an hour. And then I hit a big boulder that was encased by the shrubs on the left side of the trail. And it just jerked the wheel right out of my hands, took the truck kind of up the embankment. And then before I knew it, the rock went under the suspension, got caught under my rear lower control arm. The whole truck just went up and just flopped right over with the back quarter or third of the truck hanging off the cliff. So I got really, really, really lucky.
Could it be worse?
Oh yeah, it
could have be down there.
Oh yeah, I would have rolled forever. Like it was, I would have rolled for.
How deep was it?
The cliff edge went down at least 20 or 30 feet, and then the hill just kind of kept going for like 1,000 feet. So I could have just tumbled and tumbled. There might not have been any making it out of that. So I'm thankful.
See you back in town.
Yeah, I'm thankful that it didn't go any further than that. Yeah. And my friend JP just slammed his truck into park, ran to me, and helped me pull myself out of the truck. And then we were stuck there for like 8 hours while we waited for a tow truck. No one would come out of town until we called the sheriff. And then the sheriff basically forced someone to come, and they charged me a lot of money. It was about $2,200 US to flip my truck over and tow it 20 miles back into town.
Whoa.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brutal. I didn't even have enough money on my credit card to pay for that. JP, who pulled me out of the truck, awesome guy. He was just like, no problems, don't worry about it, I got this. And yeah, I was basically in just shock for a while. I didn't really come to terms with that until like a little while later. It was crazy though.
Yeah.
That truck completely, like the roof didn't cave in like I was gonna get injured, but it caved in enough to stop it from rolling. Like that truck like gave its life to save mine. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I'd had that truck for about 6 years.
Was that the one that I took a photo with? No.
Yeah.
That was.
That was the same truck. So
man.
That truck had been through so many iterations, and just as I, continued to kind of figure out what I really wanted out of the truck, and I had definitely different things on the horizon for it and stuff. And then, man, that was a bad accident. Yeah, then I dabbled with a bunch of different trucks before getting back into an 80. I got a 70. I had an ZJ77, like 4-door 70. Actually, I had a 100 series first, a diesel 100, automatic. It was a nice truck. The only thing is it had a bunch of hidden rust on it when I got it.
Oh.
That kind of turned me off of it. And then it just didn't, at least that particular truck, it was a shitty color, and then it had the rust, and then it
shitty color? Wasn't it white, I remember?
No, it was like champagne.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And it had brown interior and stuff, and it was an
the old
early
man
model.
spec.
And yeah, if I wanted a Landcruiser 100, I would get one that's like dark color, late model interior, like all the stuff like your truck, basically.
But it's not a diesel, sorry.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
Honestly, I'd probably get a V8 one now too. I like the V8, but anyways, I didn't like that truck. I ended up putting it up for sale. I would tell people about the rust. No one seemed to care.
Oh yeah, like people here because we don't have it in Canada, so everyone's like, no, I want a Landcruiser.
Yeah, I sold that, and then I met a bunch of more friends down in the States, and we started getting things in order to do like a big Moab, like Utah trip, and I still didn't have a truck, or I guess I had the 100, but I was thinking of selling it. So then I had 2 months to find something and get it ready to go on this long adventure. So I ended up finding the 70. It had been owned by some old man that had owned it since the early 2000s in Canada. I put cool wheels on it. I did a bunch of maintenance. I had the injection pump rebuilt. Yeah, I went down to Utah and jokingly kept saying, I didn't even get to test the 4-wheel drive. And then it didn't work.
Oh.
I got down there, and within 5 minutes of the first like trip off road, I was using my winch, and I was still having these uneasy feelings because this is my first off-road trips after I rolled my truck.
Oh, that too, yes.
So I was still kind of trying to get confident again behind the wheel. The 70 is a really, really cool truck. Like, it arguably looks like one of the coolest Land Cruisers, but the ones that were available to get in Canada are just leaf springs, and they're uncomfortable, and they're not turbo, so they're really slow. And I was getting left behind the whole trip. So I was just over it, and I thought to myself, okay, how much would it take to make this drive as nice as an 80 and be as fast as an 80? Even just a stock one would be fine. And it was like over $10,000, and I thought, well, for what I can sell this thing for, I can just buy an 80.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I got the red truck and then restarted with a lot of the parts I had kept from my 80 series from the green truck, and then had that truck for 2 or 3 years. I never really intended on selling that truck, but I'd always wanted a 60, mostly for the aesthetics.
Yeah, I remember when he said he's getting rid of the 80 and getting a 60, and I asked why. It's like more soul.
Yeah, it has more character. But yeah, also, like, I guess I just align with like a lot of the cars I owned outside of high school were all 80s vehicles, so it's kind of more my flavor.
Look at it side by side. It's so much taller.
Yeah. So it's a 1988 VX, which is the top of the line model. And it's got a 12 HT, which is a 4-liter turbo diesel.
That is so clean considered.
Yeah. It had one owner in Canada again. Basically a completely stock truck minus suspension modifications. So it has axles out of a right-hand drive 1991 80 Series Landcruiser. It's got the springs and shocks out of my red truck, which are a company called Moto Rage in Japan. All I've done is, like, this panel here has been completely replaced on both sides. This had to be cut out and replaced on both sides, like the channel that this window sits in. Like, every single one of these doors had holes down the bottom. I cut this corner of the door clean off and replaced that. Then there was a hole like this big on both sides of the roof. But, you know, you do what you need to do for something you love. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's Nardi 380, or sorry, 390 mil. And then all I've done inside is just shift knobs, floor mats, steering wheel. It's got heated seats.
What?
Yeah.
Factory?
Yeah, factory heated seats. It's a cold weather spec truck, so it used
Whoa.
to have. So a friend of mine, my old roommate, helped me build some drawers for the back.
Nice.
It goes like that. Take that out. So just there. And then I have some other pieces that aren't in right now, but they sit on this ledge and over here. So it creates the full platform, and then this ends up just being a nice little storage area. I've often thought about pulling the back seats out.
Is this locked or?
No, they're just really tough because I didn't actually use. There's no drawer slide. You just have to. Here. So.
Oh, so it's friction.
Yeah.
Do you have at least, like, because I think someone put like rubber strips and stuff underneath?
I haven't done any of that. It doesn't rattle. It doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, coveralls, blanket, stove, all my recovery gear.
Why would you have coveralls on your tour vehicle?
Because you never know when you're gonna break down.
Oh.
Especially when you're driving a 30-year-old truck.
Right now, so. I know. I'm gonna keep this in the car now.
Yeah. No. Especially if you're just touring around and you're wearing nice clothes. Aftermarket shocks, stainless brake lines. Everything has been like basically welded to the frame. I got a bunch of little paint touch-ups and stuff I got to do back here, but
Wait, why is it there?
The exhaust? Or
yeah,
because
I'm not sure if you guys can see it on the tip? Camera. It's like behind the spring.
Yeah, because it doesn't. There's not a really easy way to get it to the back right now.
What was the factory way to? Does it come from factory like that?
It came through that way, but then there was the leaf spring there, so there's quite a bit more room, like where that control arm was. and there wasn't that cross member that I put in for the upper control arms. So yeah, I've been lazy. It's not very loud. Like that. This thing is mostly engine noise, not really exhaust sound.
Right.
Because it's a very like industrial sounding diesel, which I love, but.
Okay, so we've been waiting for quite a while and nothing really significant that we can find in terms of leaking, and there is just one connector that I have a little tiny leak. Yeah.
We'll have to see. It seems like it's leaking off that little fitting though. So, snug it up, see what happens, charge it up. This is so tight. Thanks for putting this battery here. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so we've tightened that possibly loose joint, and hopefully that is the only leak that is in my system. And to prepare for charging the refrigerant,
we have to put a vacuum on the system, pull any bit of moisture inside out of the system, and contaminants and stuff like that, and make sure the system is dry. It needs to be really dry and free of everything. So you basically try and pull a really deep vacuum on it, like well below atmosphere. We're trying to get it down to somewhere around 500 microns, which is a really, really deep vacuum. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hook up a vacuum gauge so we can read what we're getting down to, and we'll hook up the vacuum pump and we'll just let it run until we see the numbers we're trying to get to, and then yeah, we'll turn it off, close all the valves, and then we'll charge it up. So I got the high side and the low side fully open. Make sure all the hoses are nice and tight. I've got the vacuum off. I've got this off. And what you do is you just pull this on. So now it's vacuumed up to here. And then you just open it up. And you can see it instantly start to drop down. It's a really small system too, so it'll start getting a vacuum on it nearly immediately. And so I don't have this open yet, so I'll leave it to there. I'll open that. And then, yeah, you can basically just watch the vacuum gauge drop as soon as we open this up. It'll take a little while to get there.
got it to around 500.
Yep.
And
so now we're gonna hook it up to the bottle. We're gonna bleed it out. So we've got refrigerant out to there. We've got no outside air in there. So I'm gonna close that. That's tight. We got both sides of the system open. So now this is filled up to here. So now what I can do is I can zero that because there's actually weight in the hose too. You have to account for that too. And then I know it takes 650 grams, 700 grams plus or minus 50. So I'll change it to grams. And then yeah, basically.
it's a wireless scale.
And then, yeah, we'll see. If it doesn't take the whole charge in, then we will have to start the truck.
So we're going to start it up and run a series. side. Oh my god, I already felt a lot.
Come onto the other side. Come onto this side.
Window.
Just watch that come.
Yeah. 22.
It feels nice and cool though.
22. Yeah, 21.9. Oh man. Wow. Wow. So, I was just asking Eric, what are those big boxes that you see at shops? Some of the shops that do this sort of things. So essentially, those are just all of these gadgets in one big box. So, yeah, pretty cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, the 2005 Land Sauna is about to go back to a Landcruiser now.
It's already down to like 14. So.
Just a happy go with AC now. Alright, I guess hope you guys learned something today. I feel like I learned a lot, but it's really abstract when you just think about heat exchange. But what's important is I have AC now, so yes. Enough AC system lecture for today. If charging AC requires those fancy gadgets, maybe a drive in the 60 is one way to recharge your soul. What do you reckon? Oh my god, guys. Oh, this feels good. Wow, this feels good.